So you smile inwardly, and the organ, it smiles back. You learn to communicate with the organs, appreciate, recognize the organs. And then when you smile into the heart smiles back and grows with this beautiful red light. Hello, I'm Matthew Bosley, an instructor with the Universal Healing Tao. Beginning on the 14th of March, for 6 Saturdays, I'm going to be teaching emotional wisdom. So the emotional wisdom of the Tao. So what is that? So it all starts with turning inwardly and connecting to our organs. So we have the 5 elements of the Tao, and they're each connected to an organ. So we have the lungs, which is metal, and we associate that with sadness, depression, grief. And through the meditations, so we have the inner smile, 6 healing sounds. These are the fundamental practices of the Universal Healing Tao, as Mantak Chia teaches, that I'll be sharing with you. So the inner smile, 6 healing sounds, and we also learn to connect the organs and the energy with the planets and nature. So we transform in the lungs sadness into courage and righteousness. And it all starts with turning the awareness inwardly. So I've just spent 2 weeks in Mantak Chia's dark room. So I'm here in Dao Garden at the moment in Thailand. And the dark room's just behind me there. I was in there for 2 weeks, and it was really an opportunity for some deep rest and really just to turn the awareness inwardly. That's what it's all about. That's what this practice, inner alchemy, is all about. It's going inwardly and transforming the emotions, which can take a little bit of time. So most people, we lead our busy life. We have so many distractions and so much stimulation. So our senses are always turned outwardly into the world. What can I do? How can I work? How can I be a success in my work, in my relationships, and so on and so on. And this constant energy outwards can really drain the energy, can really drain the organs. And what can be more important in life than healthy organs? Mantak Chia always says, these organs, these 5 major organs, this is our life. So you should learn to take care of your organs. So this is what we'll be doing in the course. So yeah, it can take practice. So when I started these practices, it wasn't immediately clear that I held these emotions in the organs. I actually remember it was the first thing that I felt was really in the liver. So in the liver, on the right-hand side, a big organ, very emotional, store a lot of stressful emotion in the liver. Anger, frustration. And this was one of the first organs I really felt the feeling of contraction and irritation. In a stressful work situation, I really felt, yes, this emotion is in the liver. And then in the Tao, we have these methods to transform these emotions. And these emotions are raw energy. So it's all energy. We don't judge, that it's good or bad, but we feel the energy and we can transform it. So in the 6 healing sounds, we notice the stressful energy, for example, in the liver, this tightness or contraction, this anger, frustration, and we learn to forgive, forget, and let go. So through a gesture and a sound, we release. So we can transform our stress, our frustration into kindness and generosity. and a green colour. So now I can guide you through a little practice. So the first thing in Universal Healing Tao, in this inner alchemy practice, is turning inwardly. So you lift up the corners of the mouth, you just relax the eyes. There can be so much tension that we hold in the eyes, so you just smile gently and turn inwardly, and we connect with the heart. So the heart is fire, and the heart can contain these contracted emotions of cruelty, arrogance, hatred. With practice, when you turn inwardly, you feel these negative emotions, and they feel burdensome on the heart. You turn inwardly, smile, and we learn to transform this hatred into love, joy, happiness, and appreciation. So you smile inwardly, and the organ, it smiles back. So it's a communication method. You learn to communicate with the organs, appreciate, recognize the organs. And then when you smile into the heart smiles back and grows with this beautiful red light. So we see the heart grow clearer, more red color. So the heart is fire. And in the inner smile, we use the creation cycle. So each of the elements feeds the next. So the fire in the heart feeds the earth. The earth is the spleen. Spleen paired with stomach and pancreas on the left side. So you return your awareness inwardly to the spleen. And you can become aware of any anxiety, worry, and mistrust. You smile into your spleen, and then you transform it. You transform your worry into trust, the mistrust into trust, openness, fairness, and trust. And so you're cultivating a more relaxed, open feeling in your spleen, stomach, and pancreas. It's all about creating a relaxed, harmonious, peaceful inner environment. And this really allows the organs to function better. We place so much stress and strain on the organs with our everyday emotions, and they accumulate over time, over years and years, and the energy becomes very stuck and contracted. And this leads eventually to some kind of illness. So it's the whole theory of the Tao and traditional Chinese medicine that illness starts at the energetic level, so with an energetic blockage. But in the Tao we have these methods to transform this sick energy into good energy. And then we become healthier, we become stronger and happier, and we can live longer too. So it's a longevity practice. And number one, you make yourself feel good inside. Okay, so the spleen, so that's the earth element, feeds the metal. And that's the lungs. So the lungs, you turn inwardly to the lungs, smile, and you learn to become aware of the sadness, depression, and grief energy in the lungs. You turn inwardly, and we learn to transform through the inner smile into courage and righteousness. And we use a white light for the lungs. So we visualize. First, you can visualize, but it's important that visualization turns into actualization. So you really feel the energy of courage and righteousness in the lungs. Okay? Then the next organ is the kidney. So the metal feeds water, and that's kidney. So the kidney, we can always rub the hands together. Feel chi, the energy, the tingling warmth in the hands. And we bring this warmth into the kidneys, towards the back. So you smile into the kidneys. Feel the kidneys. So the kidneys hold a lot of fear, phobia and trauma. And we can transform that. We transform it into gentleness, calmness and peace. Peaceful water energy in the kidneys and blue color. Then the water feeds wood. So that's the liver. On the right hand side, big stressful organ. So liver contains frustration, anger. We smile inwardly, transform. Also, you can rub the organs to make a good inner environment. Relax in your liver. And you can transform this frustration, this contraction in the liver into kindness and generosity and a feeling of peace in the liver and green light. Okay. So then from the liver we go back to the heart. So the wood feeds the fire. So then we complete the creation cycle of the 5 elements. So the wood goes back into the fire and you feel more fire in the heart, more love, more joy, more happiness. So we learn to create a good communication between the organs and a harmonious inner environment. So it's an amazing practice. It's a beautiful practice that I've been doing for several years now, since 2019. And now I'm an instructor. And, you know, the practice really grows over time. It's an important thing to emphasize. It grows with practice. So at first, the concept of the 5 elements might seem very theoretical or abstract. But it's a lived reality. So that's one of the things that I really want to put across, to communicate in this course, is the lived reality of the 5 elements, the lived reality of the feeling of the organs. You really learn to feel the organs, and it's an inner journey which takes you to great peace and good health. So this is just a little introduction to the 6-week course. So again, starting on the 14th of March, so it's every Saturday morning online at 9 o'clock. So I hope to see you there, and thank you very much. Enjoy your practice.